This podcast is certified fresh. Freshmediaworks.com.
Welcome to the Montgomery ISD Athletics Show, where each week we share conversations about everything that makes MISD athletics so great. Montgomery ISD, in partnership with families and community, will graduate all students with the knowledge, skills, and leadership necessary to thrive as productive and responsible citizens. Athletics play a vital role in student success, promoting physical and mental well-being while developing essential life skills like teamwork, leadership, and resilience that benefit students far beyond high school. The Montgomery ISD Coaches Show is fueled by EAG Automotive, East Texas's MVP since 1977. With 8 locations and a winning lineup of new and pre-owned rides, they bring the heat with hometown hustle and high-performance service. EAG Automotive, where East Texas drives to win. All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach Grant Cooper from Montgomery to this show. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I like to jump right in, and let's talk about the who you have coming back.
Gotcha. Yes, sir. Offensively, we're very excited. Our quarterback's going to be the guy that runs it. His name's Jack Merriman. He's played on varsity the last 2 years, was never the starter because we had Reggie Williams, who was the district MVP, but he got to play a lot of games. 6'3", 210, and he runs with 4.4. Wow. And he can throw. So I know defensive coordinators are going to be nervous about him. We feel good about our running backs. Keldred Ben's coming back. He was a sophomore last year. Ran for 900 yards, had 5 touchdowns. DQ Swapsy's another running back coming back, about the same stats. And he'll play some receiver for us. Best outside receiver Luke Pyro's coming back, just a sophomore, all-district kid. Offensive line-wise, we graduated 3, but we'll be able to replace them with seniors, so we should start 5 senior offensive linemen, which is a good thing. Defensively, we got some question marks. We graduated 9 senior starters. We're very good on defense, mainly due to a lot of those guys with experience. So first couple games will be young. We'll have to figure out who those guys are. But I think the pieces are there. It's just figuring out who they are. And then special teams-wise, our punter committed to A&M, which hopefully we're not using him a whole lot. But if he does take the field, he can boom it. And that's Waylon Peters. And then our kicker is also going to be a college kicker, and Parker Crenshaw. Going back to defense, guys to kind of just keep an eye on. Chaser Brontes is our starting linebacker. He fits the mold of the position, tough, physical, runs to the ball, gets there angry, and so excited about him. Our defensive end, Nolan Carpenter's had a great summer. He's a good-looking kid, 6'3", about 220, 225, and he can go. And so feel good about it. I think it'll just take us some time to get there.
Let's shift gears to the schedule. Non-district first. What do you have non-district? And what's your philosophy there? Is it like schedule as hard as possible, get us ready, or get some wins?
I think it depends year to year. So when I took over, I think you could argue 3 years ago I took over, and you could argue we had one of the hardest non-district schedules in the state of Texas. We played New Caney, who went 10-0 as a 6A school, beat the Woodlands. And then we played Barbers Hill, who's really good. Then we played Dayton, and then we played Argyle. And so it was, and for a young team, that was tough. When you have an experienced team, you definitely want to test them. And so it's a fine line each year. I think our non-district schedule fits our team this year. We'll play Kingwood Park at home on August 29th. What's cool about that game, it's we've renovated our stadium. And so if anybody's ever been to it, the home side has always looked into the sun.
Right.
And so through the bond, we're flipping sides. So the visiting side is actually getting expanded. It's going to be super nice. And they'll actually have the shaded side. And so we get to open that stadium, which is really cool. Back in 2003, that stadium got built. I was a freshman in high school, and I was at that first game.
Nice.
And so getting to be in the first game in the renovated stadium, I think is kind of a surreal moment for me and a lot of people that got to experience it. So we'll play Kingwood Park at home. Then we play Caney Creek, 6A opponent. Coach Heineman does a really good job. So that'll be a tough test for us. And then we'll go to Elgin week 3. Yeah. And I know they got a new head coach, but they play hard. They got some talent over there. And so that'll be a good test for us as well.
Definitely. Well, let's talk district. What's going to shape up there?
Yeah, if anybody's kept up with our district, I think it's probably one of the hardest ones in 5AD2 between P&G, Nederland, Huntsville, Lake Creek, Dayton, Splendora, West Fork.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough task, and you got to bring it each week. So there's going to be some really good teams that are sitting at home, that first round of the playoffs. So it's who can stay healthy, who can win close games. You look at so many games came down to the wire last year. Even week 10 we beat Nederland in overtime, and you just compare scores. It's a tough test, but if you're a competitor, that's all you want. And so our kids are excited about it. We're gonna have to bring our best each week.
And what are you telling them is the goal, as far as how you finish in the district?
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, the goal is to get in the playoffs.
Right.
The higher you perform, the better you perform, the better seed. I think it gives you an easier path. I think we'd all agree the region runs through South Oak Cliff.
Yep.
They're a talented team, so it's not a matter of if you play them, it's when you play them. And so, but for us, we want to be the best versions of ourselves this year. I think we have a lot of talent. And so we want to be sure as players and coaches we're doing everything we can to maximize that. And then at the end of the year, we'll see where that leads us.
I love it. Well, let's shift gears here, and let's talk about this week's game. Kingwood Park, what do we expect out of them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're looking forward to them coming to our new stadium. Hopefully have a big crowd. They're a very well-coached team. Coach Maple does a tremendous job. We've seen them on tape. We've scouted them. They're big. They got a bunch of guys that are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Always a perennial playoff contender, and so it's going to be a good test for us. Our kids are excited. They know that they're playing a quality opponent, so we're ready to get after it.
Nice. And talk to me about their offense and their defense, how they line up, what we can expect to see.
Yes, sir. Yeah, their offense goes through their quarterback. They had a really good quarterback last year who was a senior who kind of gave us some trouble. We believe they'll start a sophomore who played on the JV last year. Very talented kid, super athletic. We got to be able to control him. They're big on the offensive line. They're going to want to run the ball. Got a really good running back. Got good receivers they want to throw it to. More spread formationally, and so we're going to have to play well on defense. On offense, they're a even front. They do get into some odd front, and so kind of multiple in what they do. We're gonna have to do what we do, which is run the ball, take care of the football, take some shots in the passing game. And so our kids are excited, and we're ready to go.
Nice. And as far as your kids, you've now been with them a while. You see how the new team is shaping up. Where are you most pleased about the development? Because it's very early still.
Yes, sir. I would say, having watched the film of the College Park scrimmage, we're really excited about the depth of our offensive line.
Nice.
We're going to start 5 seniors. One is a 4-year letterman, one is a 3-year letterman, and then the other 3 have played quite a bit of ball for us. We had 3 guys behind them that are juniors that played really well the other night, and so we're going to rotate them in. We feel good with our depth. As every coach will tell you, you're only as good as your offense and defensive line, and so that's been exciting, just seeing those kids kind of come on. We do have a little bit of size with some of those backup guys, and so we want to utilize that. And we want to run the ball. And so being able to have those guys that can come off the ball and block and play with an edge, it fits into what we want to do.
Yeah, I love the fact that you started, the thing you're most pleased about is the offensive line and the defensive line, because you're right. The coaches know it. The people in the business know it. But the fans, they pay attention to the quarterback, the wide receivers,
Yes, sir.
the people holding the ball. But yeah, if you started by being excited about your line, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a good year.
Yes, sir. And on that note, going back to the College Park scrimmage, I think our D line played very well, especially our defensive ends. We do have a bit of length with them. Cade Smith is a senior DN. He's 6'2". Nolan Carpenter's a junior DN. He's 6'3", 6'4". And so they did a really good job as well. So to your point, we feel good about where our O-line and D-lines are right now.
Excellent. Well, cool. And one last question I haven't asked you already. the new stadium, has that helped in terms of getting kids out to play football? Are the lower levels filling up a little more?
Yes, sir. We've been very blessed. Each year our numbers have grown. So 4 years ago we had 165 players. Last year was 2 years ago was 190. Last year we're about 210, and this year we're about 210, 215. And so I think we get kids that want to be a part of being a Montgomery Bear football player. We're so blessed to live in the community that we do. We have amazing facilities. We have amazing parents. We have tremendous support from our administration. And so, they want to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. Does the stadium help with that? I think so, but I think they just enjoy, playing the game of football with their buddies. And that's kind of been our secret sauce.
Let's jump into the lightning round. I'm going to say 2 words. You tell me which one speaks to you.
Okay.
All right. Willie Nelson or George Strait?
George Strait.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Hoodie or polo?
I've been a polo guy, but we're actually transitioning into a hoodie this year, so I think I'm going to change it to a hoodie.
Nice. I'm going to have to come get some garb.
Yes, sir.
Buc-ee's or Whataburger?
Oh, man. Whataburger.
Ribs or brisket?
Brisket.
Queso or salsa?
Queso.
Coach Prime, Coach Saban?
Coach Saban.
Cowboys or Texans?
Ooh, I lived in Dallas a lot, most of my childhood life, but I've been in Houston ever since. I think I'd probably go Texans, but that's a tough one.
Yeah. Longhorns or Aggies?
A&M. My wife's an A&M grad, so
you have no choice.
I got no choice. Yes, sir.
That. I love that. So if naming all the Texas high school football coaches that you could possibly face across the field, who would you least like to face?
Well, my little brother is the defensive coordinator at Lindale. They're 4A Division I. We actually got to play him in the playoffs. And so I think for my family's benefit, trying to stay away from that matchup. Coach Joseph at P&D does a really good job, and Coach Rich at Nederland. They're all kind of from that Katy tree. Coach Mobus is coming from Huntsville. So a lot of the ones are in our district, unfortunately. But, I think Coach Jones at Aledo does a tremendous job with that program. You could go on and on. Texas high school football is the best. And so I think anybody that's from the state of Texas, you're going to have your hands full that week.
Definitely. And talking about your staff, your current coaching staff, who's the funniest in the staff?
It's probably our defensive coordinator, Coach Gresham. He's a ball coach. He's a kid magnet, but he's from East Texas. He's got some East Texas humor.
Nice.
He's got that East Texas twang when he talks. So he definitely makes the office laugh quite a bit.
I love it. Well, Coach, thank you so much for sitting down with me, and best of luck this season.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, and thanks for all you guys do for Texas high school football and all sports. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey Coach, Lone Star Gridiron has been the leader in Coach's Show podcasts for 20 years, and now you can get your own Coach's Show podcast each week during the season as a fundraiser for your booster club. Yes, booster clubs all over are using these podcasts to help their sports programs. You get to share the stories of your program and your kids to a huge audience and make money. We started with just football, but this year have expanded to make them available for all sports. Call 713-269-4620 to find out the details and get your Coach's Show started.